So Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler. That's all that I can say. I don't know if there is a point in saying anything else when it comes to Jimmy. Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler. I think that's the best way you can describe it because he's Jimmy. He's Jimmy. And if you guys agree that he's just Jimmy, subscribe. We're trying to hit 9.5. Oh, we hit 9.5K. We're trying to hit 9.55K by the end of the day. We hit our goal for today. If we don't get another subscriber, I'm still happy. But Jimmy Butler, there is now talk that it is looking likely that there is a team that he ends up getting traded. I don't know if it's to Phoenix. I really don't, because you just never know. You never know when it comes to Jimmy Butler because everything's just up in the air. If they can't get up Bradley Beal, he can't go to Phoenix. He literally can't. So there's no real point in forcing his way to there. And I think that at this stage, he's probably like, I can't really go to Phoenix. Maybe I'll just go anywhere but Miami. We saw him on the bench. He's saying, oh, you know what? I'm not taking it out on my teammates. But he was refusing to celebrate when his teammates are doing well. It's yeah, it kind of sounds like he's taking it out on them teammates. But now you're hearing about teams, potentially like the Raptors. A lot of teams are looking to get in on the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes. And after an 8-point game yesterday, it's not it's looking like they just need to get rid of him. If they can get any assets for him. If I was them, I would look to go to Milwaukee because Bradley Beal might go to Milwaukee. I would look to take Chris Middleton as a playoff riser as well as Jimmy Butler. He's been as good in the playoffs as Jimmy Butler a lot of the time when he's healthy. And then Bobby Portis, who I think is definitely a player that could help them. But if you see here from Sports Illustrated, it says there's an uptake in the Jimmy Butler trade discussions. Miami Heat forward Jimmy Butler could get his wish sooner rather than later. And this is from Brian Windhorst.
And by the way, since Jimmy had his meeting with Mickey Harrison on Thursday, there is no doubt an uptick in discussions around Jimmy Butler. The Heat shifted into a new gear after that meeting.
So obviously the Heat are, as he said, shifted into a new gear. So the Heat are really pushing to trade Jimmy Butler. And it's, to be fair, fair enough. You don't, at this stage, you just don't want Jimmy Butler around. We can be honest here. At this stage, you just don't want Jimmy Butler around your team. You know that it's a toxic situation. You don't want him around. You want him gone. It says here, it seems here the Heat and fan base are ready to get over this as soon as possible. While the Heat publicly declined to comment, he was one of the most successful players in Heat history. Yep, I mean that. And it's I'm not going to go out there and say he was the sole reason. I'm not going to say he was the sole reason they made the final 2020. That is crazy. Goran Dragic, he was the third top scorer. Goran Dragic and Tyler Hero were the reason. He was the best player in the finals, but he was not the best player up until those finals. But it says here 15 NBA teams have said they're willing to help in a Jimmy Butler trade. Because I think every team wants that 2031 Phoenix pick. I think every team involved wants that 2031 pick. Because the Phoenix Suns are going to stink. The Phoenix Suns are absolutely going to stink in 2021. Or 2031. I don't think anyone's going to deny that they're going to suck. But at the same time, you're going to have to take a bad contract in Bradley Beal. But I don't even think it's the worst thing in the world taking on the Bradley Beal deal if you're Milwaukee, because Bradley Beal might make Milwaukee better. Bradley Beal's not a bad player as long as you're not fully tanking. I think a lot of teams would be willing to take Bradley Beal. It's just, will Bradley Beal take the no trade clause? But yeah, because that's an interesting one to see what he's really looking to do. But sure, look, it will be an interesting one to see what ends up happening with Jimmy, whether he goes, where he goes. Because at this stage, it's looking like I think he's not going to be a member of the Heat. So these reports don't matter unless we get something decent in return. That's the only thing, is the Heat aren't going to be screwed. And that's the only reason it's taken so long. Is that you've got Jimmy who is Dwight Maring his way out of there. And then you've got a team that's not going to make a bad trade. It's not a good situation for anyone involved, because you've got stubborn GM with a stubborn player, and a said stubborn player almost trying to sabotage his own team. Like, it's not something that we've seen in a while. And again, like, I think the likes of Jimmy and stuff, the players are going to really struggle in that new CBA. I think they really, really are going to struggle. But yeah, it's an all around interesting one to see what is what's going to be happening with Jimmy, what's going to be happening with the with everything. With everything, what's going to be happening with the Heat. And I really hope he goes. You know what? I actually don't. As much as this is the whole Dwight Mayer situation, like, I wouldn't mind him just sending him where he wants. Because if we can get the Phoenix 2031 pick, like, if we can get that pick, then we'll be sorted. Like, that is a unbelievable asset. Like, that is the type of asset that in 3 years' time you could use as to almost trade for a star. Trade for a superstar. That pick is so valuable. Because the way Matt Ishbia is playing my league with his trades, it's going to be a near top pick. So, yeah, if I'm Miami, I'm making sure that's there. And if you can't get that pick, you're taking Ryan Dunn. This is a team that's going to be dumb enough to give up Ryan Dunn as a franchise. I mean that. Like, this franchise is the type of franchise that is going to be dumb enough to give up Ryan Dunn. So I don't really mind too much. But if we can get one of them. But yeah, at this stage, I'm just waiting for this to be over, lads. I'd say, like, as a Miami Heat fan, I'm waiting for this to be over. Like, I'm probably gonna go and see the Heat play in like 2 weeks in Brooklyn. I just don't care. I don't care about Jimmy anymore. Let him go. We might, like, Jimmy. I would rather Jimmy Butler just be gone. I'd rather him be sitting at home than sitting on the bench, because it's clear that he's not putting in any effort. Like, it is clear. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it's a disappointing way it was going to end, but it was never going to end any other way. Like, I said it on this channel, it was never going to end any other way. This is Jimmy Butler we're talking about. This is not just like a normal player. This is a guy who will make sure that he tries to take down a team with him. So we can't expect any different from Jimmy. You take with the good with the bad when it comes to Jimmy Butler.